opening sequence, you do want almost a clear path of where your opening sequence is going, and you don't want it just to seem like a load of random clips. And I feel like we've really pulled our film together in this way, or our opening sequence together in this way, through the editing. And even though some of the clips from our filming were of very high quality, which I feel I helped greatly, I also feel that when I was editing, I could help the group a lot more than when I was filming. So on top of editing, so in this process I've also learned how to use lots of different medias. When I came in to this media class, I only knew how to use PowerPoint and Word and the very basics that everyone can use. I found that Prezi has been my best friend in a way. It really accentuates the quality of your work and makes it a bit more exciting for the person that's got to read it. I've also found that Emaze was very good, and I've also learned that podcasts are a really good way to get your point across, like I'm doing now, because I feel you can get the most detail in a shorter amount of time than if you were to write it, so you can get more info into your explanations. So Prezi is a software much like PowerPoint, where you have a pathway, and on that pathway you have text boxes, and you can write and adapt the text boxes to say what you want. And then they've also got a nice graphic in the background which can link to your point and make your point stand out more. So through this process, I did learn how to use Prezi, and I learned how to modify the pathways, and I've also learned that the background can really affect the standard of the seam, how good your work seems to be, through like quality and things such as that. So at the beginning I was using very basic, almost unlinked Prezis, and now I got to the end of near the end of the process, I'm using much more linked Prezis that probably promote my point better than when I first started out on this process. Emaze is very similar to Prezi, however I think it requires a little bit less adaptation on your part, so it creates very professional graphics that make your work seem like a professional business has made it, rather than a college or sixth form student. So another one of my favourites was to use slides. The good thing about slides was the shareability. So more than one of us could work on the slides at once. And this made it really useful. Just if someone was feeling a little bit less motivated to do the work, then you could be like, I'll help you today. And I found this to be really good because of it helped me to get some work done when I was feeling less motivated on days, and I also feel like I've helped others in my group when they were feeling less motivated to do the work, and it also creates a very professional looking finish. However, it does have less customability than things like Prezi. So I've also liked using the podcasts and I've done this by using the voice memos on my phone. This is really, really good because you can crop and edit your voice after you've said it. So it really helps it really helps if you make a mistake like just then. I can crop it out and move on with what I'm saying. Another software that I've tried to use is Word It Out. I feel like it's not a main presentation software. However, it does complement some other pieces of work well. So you can maybe incorporate this into a Prezi or a bigger project, and it just collates a group of words together that like adjectives that may describe what you're trying to do. I also tried to use Slidebean. It was really good to use to create the bulk of my software. However, you couldn't publish it without paying for the software, so I steered away from using this after I found that out. However, when I was using it, it was very handy, and the work that I produced on Slidebean was not lost because I can copy and paste it off of there and put it onto something like Canva. I found Canva to be very, very good. It was a lot like Slidebean. However, you had lots and lots more customability of your text, and this made your piece look a lot more professional. I did tend to stay a lot more simple on Canva because I don't feel like I got enough time to fully explore it, because I found it much later on in the project. However, it was really, really good. The only problem with Canva was when I was typing, depending on the text, you might not be able to delete your text that you've already written. So you'd have to delete the whole thing or nothing at all. So I also tried Infogram. Infogram is a data showing software. However, Infogram was really, really confusing to use, and I had to use their help option. And even after I'd used that, I decided against using it just because of it was too confusing. I was going to use this to show my findings from SurveyMonkey. However, I did find another option on SurveyMonkey that would allow me to do this. So I used SurveyMonkey, which I was very impressed with. It was really easy to use, and I could send out links to specific members of my target audience that I wanted to answer it. I could also leave it on the website for random people to answer. So this was really helpful because when we were doing the initial research, it helped us to find what target audience we should be aiming at, and also the gender and the style of the thriller, and a little bit about the storyline. And when we got later into the process, it also enabled us to find out whether people liked it or whether they didn't. The section that I found on SurveyMonkey, which was really, really helpful, was the analysis section, and this allowed you to see pie charts and results of your findings, and this was a really, really nice way to display our findings. So we also wanted to use target groups, so like research groups. And we found that this would be hard to do in person, because we did try to do it, but we found it very hard to get enough people together at one time to film and talk to them for more than say 5 minutes. So I came up with the idea to use the WhatsApp messaging service, and I created a large group of our target audience, and this really allowed us to focus in on certain areas of our project. So we mainly focused on the sound research area, and the sound research was excellent for us because of I think it's what won us the award on the awards night that we went to, because of it really complements our piece really well. And I also used the Facebook messaging service. I used this to contact James Pickering. This allows you to send pictures and images across free of charge, and also allows you to chat and phone. This was really good because it meant that most times I could just send James a quick message if I needed to ask him a question about editing, and also when he told me about the keyboard shortcuts, he could send me a picture of an example keyboard shortcuts that I could use. So in this process, I've really found out the thriller genre and what it means to be a thriller rather than a horror, because I found out that a thriller is meant to hold your suspense rather than come in with short, sharp, eye-catching scares. So we really tried to prolong this in our opening sequence and create this effect, which I think that we did very well. I think that this was most successful because of the way that we used our music and the almost slow-paced start, and then it builds up with the orchestral instruments to rise in suspense and create an edgy atmosphere, whilst also keeping into the social conforms of a thriller genre. So I think that my biggest success throughout this process is the editing area of the project, because I feel that this was the area that I was the most successful in, and I contributed to the group the most in. I spent many hours trying to research how to edit to a professional standard, and I also used YouTube tutorials that really helped me make my contribution when editing much more vital than say when we were filming. I feel like this was because we were all new when it came to editing, and I spent the time to research it, whereas when we were filming we all had a little bit of knowledge, and so we could all contribute almost equally. I think that when it came to editing, my biggest strength was the speed that I could do it at, and also the music, the way that the music links with the editing. So simple things like when the text comes up, linked to when there's a change in pitch in the music. So I used time graphs, like music time graphs, to do this. So I listened to the music several times on my own, and I analysed when there was a change in pitch or when an instrument was introduced, because I feel like if we are editing towards the music, it'll create more impact. It creates a more impactful opening sequence for the audience. I'm really proud of the way that I've taught myself how to edit from scratch, and I feel like these are skills that I could progress further with more time. However, in the time frame that I had, I feel like I did the best that I could to create to further my knowledge on editing and the topic of editing. So this was really good. for me to learn how to edit. And that is my question 7